From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. The Keystone is reporting that mosquitoes are far more than just a summertime nuisance. The buzzing insects are the world's deadliest animal. Mosquitoes can spread disease when they bite, like West Nile virus, and in recent weeks, mosquitoes have tested positive for the disease in more than half of Pennsylvania's 67 counties, according to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, which categorized the West Nile virus risk in the state as high. It's important to note that while mosquitoes in Pennsylvania have tested positive for the disease, there were no confirmed cases detected in humans as of last week, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Children 5 or younger and adults 65 and older are most at risk for getting sick from West Nile virus, according to health officials. The state departments of Health, Environmental Protection, and Agriculture coordinate with county officials on mosquito surveillance and control measures. You can find out when and where your county is spraying for mosquitoes by checking on the Keystone website. And residents can submit mosquito complaints to the Department of Environmental Protection. Officials stress that individuals should do all they can to avoid getting bitten, which means taking steps like using repellent, wearing clothing with long sleeves and long pants, and staying indoors when the mosquitoes are most active, like dusk and dawn. It's also important to take precautions around your property. Dumping standing water frequently from buckets, bird baths, ornamental ponds, flower pots, tarps, toys, etc. is key to preventing mosquito breeding grounds. In other news, Harvard University will appear in federal court today to make the case that President Donald Trump's administration illegally cut $2.6 billion from the storied college, a pivotal moment in its battle against the federal government. If U.S. District Judge Allison Burroughs decides in the university's favor, the ruling would reverse a series of funding freezes that later became outright cuts as the administration escalated its fight with the nation's oldest and wealthiest university. Such a ruling, if it stands, would revive Harvard's sprawling scientific and medical research operation and hundreds of projects. Harvard's lawsuit accuses the administration of waging a retaliation campaign against the university after it rejected a series of demands in an April 11th letter from a federal anti-Semitism task force. Harvard has moved to self-fund some of its research. However, even with the nation's largest endowment at $53 billion, the university has warned it can't absorb the full cost of the federal cuts. Federal agencies say grants can be scrapped if they no longer align with government policies. In court filings, Harvard has said the government fails to explain how the termination of funding for research to treat cancer, support veterans, and improve national security addresses anti-Semitism. The Trump administration denies the cuts were made in retaliation, saying the grants were under review even before the April demand letter was sent. It argues the government has wide discretion to cancel contracts for policy reasons. And finally, more than 5.2 million above-ground swimming pools sold across the United States and Canada over the last 2 decades are being recalled after 9 drowning deaths were reported. The recall covers a range of Bestway, Intex Recreation, and Polygroup pools that were sold by major retailers as far back as 2002. According to Monday notices published by the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission and Health Canada, these pools have compression straps running along the outside of the product, which may create a foothold for small children and allow them to access the water unattended. That can pose a serious drowning risk, the safety regulatory warn. To date, the CPSC believes 9 children across the United States have drowned after gaining access to these now recalled pools in this way. Those deaths occurred between 2007 and 2022, involving children between the ages of 22 months and 3 years old. No additional fatalities have been reported in Canada. Consumers in possession of these pools are urged to immediately contact Bestway, Intex, and/or Polygroup to receive a free repair kit, which will consist of a rope to replace the compression strap. Owners of these pools should otherwise ensure that small children cannot access the pool without supervision, regulators note, and could alternatively drain the pool until the repair is made. All of the pools being recalled are 48 inches or taller and can be identified by brand and model names listed on both the CPSC and Health Canada's recall notices. Sales of the pools ranged by model and location, but date as far back to 2002 and as recently as 2025. About 5 million of these now recalled pools were sold across the U.S., including both online and in stores at major retailers like Walmart, Target, Lowe's, Costco, and Amazon. Another 266,000 were sold in Canada. That's the news at this hour. If you are watching our news videos on YouTube, please drop us a comment and subscribe to our channel. PEP Radio is now available on Alexa. Simply tell your device, Alexa, play PEP Radio. Up next, we have the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.